Good morning, and thank you for joining Resilient You with Alicia Pozsony. On our show, we have guests that talk about topics of resilience. This week, our guest is, I'm very happy to introduce her. Her name is Faranak Shahroozi. She is an Iranian-American concert pianist and composer. Welcome to our show, Faranak.
Thank you. Thanks for having me to your show. Yeah, it's great to be here.
I know you've been out in California having some rain that you're dealing with. And I know, same out here on the East Coast, we have a bit of fair weather. Speaking of which, you have a very interesting story from your youth. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about your background and how you ended up being in this position you're in right now?
Yeah, as you mentioned, Alicia, I'm from Iran. I was born and raised there, and I came to this country many moons ago. I don't want to give up my age, but I've seen the war and the revolution and everything that happened in Iran. I was there. We lost our home in the war of Iran and Iraq years ago in 1980s. So I lost my home. With my parents, we moved to Tehran, capital of Iran. And so I've seen so many things and devastations. Yeah, and my life is a story of resilience. And it's so funny that human nature is like this. When you have it all comfortable and everything, you don't have that passion and drive, but once you're under pressure, at least for me, it's like that. You just want to strive and make it. So that's what happened to me. The migration, moving to America and changing life a few times, I moved to Tehran one time and then I moved to America, just learning the language, everything, starting from scratch twice. That was not easy. But, as you go through it and you're growing up and you're young, you're resilient and you adapt. But when I think back, I'm like, oh my God, so much has happened to me in this, my lifespan so far. Hopefully, things are normal now, but, that's where the music came from. I put all that hardship and everything into my music. So
yeah. So imagine, listeners, I just want you to think about this for a moment. You're a young person and you're going through a war that happens in your country. You are forced to leave your home. You move to a larger city, and at some point, like Faranak, you realize that you have to make a choice in life to do something. Now, we're all born with different things. And Faranak, you sound like you were born with some resilience, because you not only did you take what you've learned and applied it to your profession, and it probably took a lot to get there, right? You came to America and you received a BA in classical piano performance from San Jose State University in California. And between then and now, you've made beautiful music, right? And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about your music today and then what else you've done. How many albums or recordings have you made?
I have made 3 albums. 2 of them are published. One of them was never published, but 2 of them. One is a full album that's out there, but I have like 32, 33 songs on on the internet. I have published 3 songs. Some of them are in movies, and some of them are, all of them are, you can follow me on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, anywhere, all those channels. I'm there. I'm in 55 channels around the world. So all the big ones. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now you've been compared to Francis Lay's Love Story and Nina Rhoda's The Godfather
Yeah,
in
my
terms
music
of.
has drawn from that kind of type of sound. Although there's this, they scored for movies, and the music is for orchestral and all that. But I have tried to. I've learned to write very, very melodic music, which reminds the listener of that, Francis Lay of Love Story. It reminds the listener of that type of music. So it's good. I haven't never had anybody listening to my music and not be able to hum it later. It's just that
Mhm.
it's got a hook and it sticks to your brain,
Mhm.
to your mind. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, I know I've listened, and it's definitely put me in a different state of mind, and quickly too. It's like I was feeling stressed, and I said, "Okay, let me listen to this music, right?" Because I know how music can be such a great emotional
Mhm.
tool for people if they're feeling anxious, or if they're feeling depressed, or whatever it might be. If they're going through something in life, then maybe a divorce, maybe it's a separation or a loss.
My son is 22. He's in San Francisco. He
Mm.
lives there. He works for PwC. So I'm just,
Ah,
I raised him. I put all my life and everything on hold, all my music, everything, just to be home for him. So I taught piano at home, didn't do anything. I was home for him. And yeah.
wonderful. Wow, how
Mhm.
amazing. So let me ask you, when you say you put your music on hold, were you were dedicated as a mother, and did you actually start later in life to
Oh,
record and become
no, no,
singers?
no. I have been doing music and recording and everything for the past 30 years. But
Okay.
I put stuff on hold, my music on hold. Every time I was moving forward, then something happened. I had a baby for 22 years. I was raising my son for 20 years, and now he's 20, almost 23. So most of the time that he was home and I was raising him, I was just focusing on my son, Wolfgang. Uh, to raise him and to my best of abilities. My focus was just him. And so now that he's on his own, he's a grown man and has a great job and works on his own. He's out of the house. He's in San Francisco. And now I just, concentrate on me now, you know, and the music.
Wonderful. Well, it's been, it's worked, because let me tell you, the quality of music is just, it's so amazing. I know I want to ask you to play
Oh,
for
yeah,
us.
I will.
When you're ready, when
Oh,
you're ready. Um,
anytime you want me, I'll play.
Wonderful. I love it. So Faranak, we talked about your changes in life, and how you took that and put it into your music. You have 3 albums published, 2 are published out there, 33 songs. You've been featured in movies. Faranak has her second album is entitled Eternal Love. So those of you who are listening, go out there and look for that. Faranak has performed for businesses and musical professionals, including Steve Jobs, NBC Universal, Johnson and Johnson, PETA, and Vintner Robert Mondavi. And then I'm sure you've also performed with others as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I used to live in,
what?
another change was living in Napa Valley. I moved to Napa. And there I worked with everybody there. I played for everyone. You name any celebrity, you name it. They used to come to Napa, and I would do a little mini concert or perform for weddings and things like that. And Robert Mondavi was one of my biggest fans, and late Robert Mondavi, and he loved to drink wine and listen to my music. So I played for him a lot, and we did an album together with Robert and his wife. He endorsed it. That's the one that I never published it. We just sold it in
Oh.
Napa in the wineries and shops and places like that. But I never published that one. Later, I took the music out of that album and released them as singles. So so I performed
Okay.
for his memorial also when he passed away. But that was years ago, and about 13, 14 years ago, I fell in love with my life partner, and so I kind of gave up all that to move in the Bay Area. I moved back to San Francisco Bay Area after Napa, and so that was another change, and that was another thing that stopped me from doing my music. I wanted to raise my family, be with him, and everything, and then the what you call it, pandemic hit, and once that happened, then my whole world changed again, and the music came back again. So although the music was already on the radios, but I wasn't promoting it. So then after that, I went full force promoting my music, and here I am now.
So your music has been called lyrical, romantic, and captivating. So that's one of the things I want to put out there. Anyone listening, if you have some struggles that you're going through, you can use music. You can choose to take a walk and play it. You can have it there on in the house when you're doing those chores that are so difficult to do at times. If you are looking for, a time to have introspection, it's definitely something that I would recommend.
Or if you want to study.
So
for studying, for working, this can be always in the background. It's really easy listening. So, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So now, do you have any people that inspired you? How did you land at piano?
Oh, gosh.
Tell me about
I have had people who have inspired me, their music. Ernesto Coltazar is a great, amazing pianist, amazing, old school. Years and years ago, I grew up listening to his music. Not that I had his music. The music was played everywhere you went. This background piano music with the little orchestra, and now Spotify has playlisted me with Ernesto Coltazar. Can you believe it? I'm like it's just amazing. And I'm like, how did they know? So he's the one who inspired me. And then later, when I was growing up, there's a pianist called Richard Kleiderman from France. His music inspired me. And later, Yanni inspired me. Who else? A lot of music. A lot of music have always inspired me. But, these are the three pianists whom I listened to growing up.
now. Did I hear that you first played piano with your mother, or was that not the case?
No,
I don't know.
None of my family play piano, but they got me a piano teacher, and I studied at home until I came to America, and I pursued it professionally, and I studied music, classical music. Yeah.
I see. Okay. So that's interesting. Now, if they didn't, were they musical at all, or did
no,
you just...
actually, but the thing is, my mom put me to bed as I was an infant, when I was an infant, with a radio, little tiny radio in the crib, on classical station. So that's how I slept. And then as I was growing, my three sisters, whom they are like, each one is like from 16 years to 13 years to 10 years older than me. They always listen to music,
Mm.
a lot of music. So I grew up listening to a lot of music.
I love to hear that, the story of how did it come about, and so it must be okay. So you just, did you have that innate ability to play music?
Yeah.
Like you were probably good at
No,
math too,
math.
right?
I had math.
Oh.
I'm math dyslexic, actually. Let's put it that way. So I can't even count. It's so hard for me. But music is. I don't know how to say it. I change music. I change. I'm not a follower of rules so much. Like if they tell you in classical music,
Mm.
you have to do it the way it is. So I did it. But if I want to play it for myself, I change it. So, for example, this new song
No.
that I'm doing, which is coming out on January 20th, it's called Rhythms of My Life. And that has to do everything with whatever I went through, and all in one song. But it's inspired a little bit
Mm.
by Bach's music. It's
Mm.
this thing by Bach. It's going like this. It's a C minor, prelude in C minor. It goes like this. So from this, I came up with Rhythms of My Life. Do you want to play it?
Yes, we would love to hear you play
Thank
it.
you. So here we go with Rhythms of My Life. So it's inspired by Bach, but I changed it. Oops. So I'm going to play with Rhythms of My Life. It will come out January 20th on all the platforms. So hope you enjoy. Thank you. Thank you.
Bravo,
Thank you.
bravo.
That was Rhythms of My
So
Life.
Wonderful. So listening to that, I felt the progression of like emotions, and maybe it's just me, but I felt calm at the beginning, and then I felt something like I was going through something. Not that it was, it didn't cause me
Yeah.
to have concern, but it was like definitely
Ups
moving. It
and
was,
downs, ups and
very
downs
moving.
of life. So what happened was when I was thinking about the cover of this song, I thought about rhythm of heart rhythm. You know, heart rhythm that keeps going up and down. It's the
Mm.
same thing, same emotions. That's why I called it rhythms of my life.
Well, that's true. And that's how I felt the music. I heard it, but I was feeling it. And at the end, it was like a definitiveness. It was just like a very positive, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
calm at
yeah,
the
yeah.
end as well.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you
beautiful,
so much.
beautiful.
I'm proud of this piece, really. I have done a lot of music, but this one is something I'm proud of. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, your music, it could be the background to different things, right? In movie soundtracks, in commercials. What is it that you feel your music is best suited
Yeah.
for? I mean, aside
As you
from
said,
listening.
for all that, it's perfectly cinematic. I have cinematic stuff with the orchestra behind me. It can go anywhere. I have lots of different types of sounds. So this is very classic. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I have like pop music. I have new age, all types of neoclassical. It just encompasses my range. Yeah, I have a wide range of music. So they're all good for something.
Mm-hmm.
They're all on my website,
Yeah.
faranakmusic.com, or any of the radios you tune into, and you put Faranak Shahroozi, my name, and you can listen to everything. Yeah.
Wonderful. So
Yes.
faranakmusic.com, you can find her music. Um, I want to ask you though, with all of the range that you have, the all the dynamic, what it makes you as a person, do you go and play to as a release when you're feeling stressed, or is it not that? Is it you do
Actually,
other things to
actually, you
release
just
the
said it.
stress?
It's just a release. It's something that's
Mm,
beyond. I'm blessed. Anybody who can do something to get that, all that, when things get so tense. uh, for me, this was something that I hung on to, something that finally made me
mhm.
feel better. Once I released it to music, I felt much better, happier. So it's always saved me. this thing has always saved me. The piano.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's a good feeling to be able to play an
Wonderful.
instrument.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I know, I in my household, my
Oh,
husband is musical. He plays the bass guitar, he plays in bands, and he's been playing since he was a kid. And my son played a musical instrument, and he had a very good singing voice, although he didn't want to do anything with it. He was
oh,
just shy, I guess. Um, and my daughter, she has a
oh,
really good rhythm. So we want to get her into something like that. So maybe
oh,
you will be
thank
the
you.
inspiration, and she can start on
Yeah,
the path of piano. That's a wonderful thing for for us and for all our listeners out there. If you're a parent, you want to get your
yeah,
child started. It's never too, as we learned from Faranak, it wasn't something in her family. It was something that she started and applied herself and learned. And then it gave back to her. It gave her that release of, stress. And as she mentioned, it was a talent. But, again, I think it's something that people can use music and really make it their emotional
Exactly. It's an
emotional
emotional
tool.
tool. It's a tool to save you, save you from all those emotions. It's good to
Hmm.
apply it. I think it's music or any type of art form that you can get your mind off something and put it in some passionately in something and creating. It's a great way of coping with lots of things that life can throw at you.
It's true. It's true. And me, I'm not talented musically or uh, art, nothing, but I turned to writing. And so this picture behind me, it's a book, a self-help book that I put out. It's
Yes.
Emotional Strength Explained. And in here, it does talk about different things that you can do to identify what's healthy. And so, if you're going out drinking every night
Yeah.
or you're, doing things that may not be such that is suited for you, you might start a new hobby. You might learn piano, right? So this self-help book
That's,
can help you get to that
that's
place.
great.
It's really something that that and on each show every week that we have here on Resilient You is we have different people, and they could be athletes, they could be celebrities, they could be musicians. But the one thing that I really love about doing this is that we all find
Yeah.
things that we have in common, that aside from the fact that we play this role, we are all human underneath. And so we can make these wonderful connections,
Yeah.
Tell our stories and
Yeah, I
really
wanted to
motivate
thank
others.
Stephen also, your friend. Forget his last name, Stephen. Yes, he's
Stephen
such a great guy,
Cuoco.
and we're in a group chat on Instagram with lots of influencers all around the world. And he heard my music and he said, "Oh my God, you're so good! I want to book you for Alicia's show." So he introduced me to you.
Wonderful. Yeah. And, Stephen Cuoco is an amazing man. If you haven't encountered him yet online, you can go and check him out. He's not only the producer of the Power 98.5 FM satellite radio, but he also helps people in all walks of life, especially celebrities, his guidance and his wisdom. You should look it up. He did a couple of interviews on NBC, I think, and it's just when you hear him speak, it really elevates you. So if you're listening out there, check out Stephen Cuoco. Listen to some of his interviews that he either has done with other people or even himself. He's spoken on many topics, and it's just so
Yes, a
inspiring.
great guy.
Yeah. So what do you think, Faranak? So you have the new song is going to be released. It is Rhythms of My Life, January 20th. Is there anything else that you have that you're working on that you want to share with our
Well, I'm
listeners?
working on a couple of movies, but they're not out yet. One of them is based on a true story. We're still waiting for more money. They're looking for $30 million, so they've raised somewhere around 15, half of it. And once that starts, I have some songs in there syncing my music, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to get more things like that, projects like that.
So you're available for projects. People can find you on Instagram or
People can listen to
faranakmusic.com.
Faranak Shahroozi anywhere on any platform, so you can listen to
Mhm.
me. And if you go on Spotify, all my or YouTube, my website, and all those things are on there, so you can find me. If you want to
Mm.
find me on what you call it, Instagram, I'm Faranak Music. So again, everything, all the info and my website and everything is on that one too. So yeah,
Wonderful. Well, we're so honored that you played for us today, and we're looking forward to all your new up and coming music and projects that you have in line. I know that your music is such that it's it's anyone could listen to it, right? So if
Yeah.
you're a college student, if you're working, if you are in school, you can listen to this, keep it on in the background, find her
Yeah.
and like her music, Faranak music. And again, Faranak, we're looking forward to, everything
Thank
you
you
have
very
coming
much
up in
for
the
having
future.
me, Alicia. And go to Spotify, basically, Faranak Shahroozi on Spotify, and listen to everything. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having
Wonderful.
me.
Thank you so much.